We just had a meeting here last month on foreclosure, and that was the council. You talk to your lender, see if you can reach an arm's length agreement to restructure a loan so that you can move forward. Everybody's doing that in the current economy. I'm not happy about the rent thing, but I can say, okay, that makes sense to me. You gotta look forward, Actual $1 rent, to be honest, that still kind of irks me to make a decision for the next 20 years tonight on that issue. But approaching us with a loan, that's pretty reasonable. And I asked the questions I asked just because I actually think, you come in, you want us to help, but the fact is, it's an uncomfortable situation. It's not of your making. You're trying to unravel it, but it is awkward, and we got to be able to have a conversation and say, this stinks. How did we get here?
Maybe there have been many of those conversations.
And
they're ongoing.
Yeah, I do believe that, Beth. But I think, from the standpoint of our community, this is, if they're looking in, this is us working on our future and trying to figure out a way we do move forward.
I don't disagree with anything you said, but I will tell you, this Chamber of Commerce, unlike many other chambers that I have been involved with over the years, was here when this city was trying to be formed. And I think if for no other reason, its citizens would want it to be saved.
This Chamber of Commerce was the city council when there wasn't a city council. We talked, we spent our two-day retreat talking about where we had been and where we're going. And again, part of what our residents, part of what all of us at the chamber wanted, part of what the city wanted, the people who lived here wanted, was the idea to control our land use, control our destiny. And every time we ran up against a brick wall, it was because we didn't control the money and we didn't control the decision. And so at the chamber, that was one of the reasons that there was no question that the chamber would be right there with Bob and Dave, making sure that we took whatever steps were necessary to get this through the negotiations, through LAFCO, and to the ballot. And I agree wholeheartedly with Beth. This is a lousy position to be in. Everything that's been said tonight is probably felt by everyone who is listening or who will be listening or watching this on the streaming video. But of the goals that we have at this city, a very important one for all the reasons that we've been talking about is to drive diverse economic opportunities and to make sure that we are business friendly. And the best way to continue the capacity and the training and the support for our existing business community is to make sure that its significant voice, the Chamber of Commerce, has a long-term future.
And I don't disagree with that, Linda.
I know you don't disagree with that.
I kind of come down to this loan saying, it's just as between us having $90,000 over the next 3 years.
Okay,
and Bank of Sacramento, I'd rather keep it in our pocket.
Let's put that aside for a minute. And actually, are there other people signed up to speak tonight? They're not. Okay. All right. Great. Then, anybody else?
Yeah. The reason I came to this council meeting tonight was because the Chamber of Commerce is in trouble, and I think I can help. I know that Dan and Kim have been bringing up some points about the money. Whether it's money that the Chamber of Commerce owes Bank of America or whether they owe that money to us, they still owe the money, and they're still going to be paying that money back. As far as $1 a year, in your presentation you showed that As an example, the city of Folsom collects $1 a year from their Chamber of Commerce as far as their rent's concerned. It's not something that isn't done other places. So I don't have any problem with that. As far as the loans are concerned, like I said, it's money that is going to have to be paid back. So whether they pay back Bank of America or whether they pay us back at the city, it will be paid back. There's been months of work done with this chamber. The Chamber of Commerce, when you go someplace, one of the first things you see when you go into a city is the Chamber of Commerce welcomes you, or it's Chamber of Commerce weather. I'm not sure if this is right now, but it's Chamber of Commerce, and we have to help this Chamber of Commerce and the dilemma that it's in, I think. That's, as I say, the reason I came back tonight. I'm going to be coming back in a couple of weeks, probably around our next council meeting, for the full meeting. But I'm here tonight because of this. It is important to me, it's important to the city, it's important to the businesses here, and it's important to the people to keep the businesses here. And the only way we can really do that is, I think, to do what we can tonight to give the Chamber of Commerce the help that they need. I don't have any doubt that the money will be paid back. Right now, everyone's having a hard time keeping their home, much less paying back a loan. So the way this is structured, year one, no interest, no payment, and giving everybody a chance to redo at this tough time. So you've got a double whammy right now with the Chamber of Commerce. You've got finances that are being studied and they're going to have to be repaid. You've got the economy itself. It's also going to hit you very hard if it isn't already. So I think the city has the ability to keep this Chamber of Commerce going and help restructure it and help reinforce it. And I think that's something that is worth doing. I think we can do that, and I think we should. So just for me, I'm going to make a motion that we pass this as 11.3 supplemental support to the Chamber of Commerce.
Is there a second?
Have more council discussion.
Okay, I'll second the motion so that we can discuss it further.
The concerns I have are first of all, because Folsom allows their chamber to pay $1 a year, doesn't mean that we should allow our chamber to pay $1 a year. First of all, you're in City Hall. The city pays the cleaning of the suite. The city pays for the insurance. The city pays for the maintenance. So there's direct costs to the city. I mean, if the city could even break even with that, it would be something. It would be a gesture at least. You're at the chamber. We're in City Hall. You're in City Hall. You got to admit, your assets are your furniture and your membership, and your leadership. I just you got to pay at least $1,000 a year, something like that, $100 a month, something like that, so the city can break even with its costs to keep you here. Now, indebting this much money over a 10-year span means that you're indebting other council members, other councils, possibly. So this is something we've got to really fine-tooth and work out. Your audit isn't completed. So any idea when the audit will be complete?
Well, the audit is in a state presently, it's as complete as it's going to get for the moment. We are continuing to go through records to provide to them. The files were in disarray. We've had to systematically go through every piece of documentation to provide to them. It's been an ongoing process. Whether we're going to have complete closure on that audit for years prior, I can't tell you when that'll happen. 2007, our volunteer financial officer has structured our accounting so that he is very, very clear that the accounting for 2007 is spot on.